Breaking news, the Baltimore Ravens just robbed the NFL. Jaire Alexander is now an official member of the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to tell you everything you need to know about that deal coming up right here, right now on Ravens Digest. Welcome to the show. For those of you who are new here, my name is Bryce Parker. I am your host, and thank you so much for joining. For starters, let's get out the way. Make sure you are commenting, but also make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. We're going to cover everything you need to know, from trade rumors to game highlights to breakdowns to pregame, postgame, injury reports. Everything you need to know about the Baltimore Ravens, you can find it right here, right now. So make sure you're subscribed so you can get an early jump on everything that's breaking. So let's jump right into it. Last video I made was talking about Jaire Alexander and the possibility of him becoming a Raven, the pros, the cons, what's going to happen, who was going to be maybe some other teams or other players, other teams that can get Alexander, but also other players that the Ravens should go after. Now, we are here today, just after noon. The Baltimore Ravens found a way to get a deal done with Jaire Alexander. There were a lot of other teams who were suitors. We were hearing the 49ers. We were especially hearing the Carolina Panthers. But Jaire Alexander came to visit Baltimore today, and Eric DeCosta made sure that he did not leave the room. Man, shout out to Eric DeCosta, because he made it happen. He strikes again. This guy's been a free agent monster this offseason, also the past couple seasons, but also he's been able to draft well to give this team everything they need. So shout out to Eric DeCosta. He really is the cornerstone piece of this franchise that has been able to put a roster together year in, year out, facing cap problems, facing guys who need to be re-signed. Every single deficiency that it seems like the Baltimore Ravens have needed to fill in the past couple of years, EDC has made it happen. So shout out to him. You got the deal done. And then also, the deal is now official. So as we said earlier, Jaire Alexander now joins his college teammate at Louisville, Lamar Jackson, on the Baltimore Ravens. So let's get right into it. So Jaire Alexander was drafted in 2018. He became a lockdown corner. Started 76 games. He had 70 pass breakups in those games. The past couple seasons, he has had some injury issues, a shoulder, a knee. He actually had surgery on a knee back in January before he was ultimately let go from the Green Bay Packers. But we expect that injury of the knee to be healed by this upcoming season. But again, Jaire Alexander, he's a big body. He's a fast, physical corner. He's a guy that can lock up your number one. And he's shown that week in, week out in the NFL since he's gotten there, now going to his 8th season, all his previous seasons with the Green Bay Packers. He now joins a very stacked Ravens secondary that's putting together some great depth, especially considering this year's departure of Ardarius Washington, who I believe tore his Achilles during organized team activities. So now let's break into the deal. So we have a 1-year, $4 million deal with $2 million available in incentives. So this could end up becoming a deal that gives Jaire Alexander $6 million in the process. Now let's talk about some of the other teams that he could have went to. We had some intrigue, especially with the Carolina Panthers. Jaire Alexander, he's a guy that was born in the Charlotte area, went to high school in Rocky River, which is in the Charlotte area as well. He would have been going back home if he had signed with the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers also had a lot of money that they could have given Alexander. But Alexander turned that money down to play in Baltimore, to possibly play for a Super Bowl. He had an opportunity to go to Carolina, possibly get with this young group of guys who are trying to put it together, who are trying to make a push to win the NFC South, not just in the future, but this year. But he turned that down. He said, I want to go Super Bowl hunting, and Eric DeCosta made it happen for him to become a Baltimore Raven. Man, I am excited about this move. Why am I excited about this move? Because there is so much potential in what the Baltimore Ravens can now do on defense. Sorry about that. About what the Baltimore Ravens can now do on defense. And base, we're not really sure if Alexander is going to be a starter. I do believe if you go get this guy for a 1-year deal, he is going to be a starter. So it's possible that he could knock out Wiggins as that starting cornerback in their base defense. Baltimore does traditionally run a 3-4, but you never know. With all these cornerbacks, with all these great DBs on the field that we now have in Baltimore, Zach Orr could switch it up. Now, where it gets interesting is that Zach Orr, we know he's a guy that wants to do a lot of different things, and we have the pieces together that can play defense in a lot of different ways. So it's going to get interesting when they get to nickel, which is a 5 defensive back set. you can do things. You can have Wiggins and Alexander at corner. You can have Humphrey going to the slot, and then you can have Starks and Hamilton playing those deep safeties. But there's another problem is you have now 4 players on your team that can play slot corner. You have Alexander, Humphrey, Starks, and Hamilton. We know that they like to move Hamilton around a lot. You got Starks because he's a versatile guy in the system. It's about to be a nightmare for other offenses. Zach Orr is about to have a field day, and it's really going to be unpredictable because these guys can blitz, they can drop into coverage, they can play man. And another thing that, speaking of man, one thing that Alexander does great is be a man corner in the boundary side of the field, locking down other teams' X receivers, and you're going to need that, especially when you're going to have to go against a guy like Jamar Chase and in Cincinnati, and then also the addition of DK Metcalf in Pittsburgh. You have multiple guys that you can throw at these very dynamic, these big, fast, strong receivers, and it's going to be beautiful. I'm going to be so excited to see how they do it. But also with Dime, remember, you did pick up Chidobe Awuzie in the offseason. So when you go Dime, which is 6 defensive backs on the field, now it gets really interesting what you can do. Now you have 2 slot corners on each side that you can be multiple with. And again, you have 4 guys that can go inside. You really don't have a weakness now in the secondary that needed to add some depth. Especially with Washington going down. Imagine if they had Washington as well. This would have been scary. But this move ended up being perfect for what the Baltimore Ravens want to do. I know I was a guy in my last video, I thought maybe Ramsey could have been a better fit, but I love this so much because it gets the job done. And I wasn't sure if Eric DeCosta was going to be able to pull it out, especially with Alexander possibly wanted some money, but it makes it a perfect addition. Now, the only negative I do see with this move is that Alexander is a guy who has been injury prone. The last 2 seasons, he played a combined amount of games of 14. I believe it was a back in 2023, and in 2024 he also had another injury with the knee that we saw sideline him. And I think he also had a shoulder at some point of this season that sidelined him a little bit. But I believe that some of these issues are going to be able to clear themselves up. Again, he had surgery in January. It's not like a ACL tear or anything like that that's going to keep him off of the field for an extended period of time. I believe he should be able to get back before training camp, get those reps in with those guys. But also, if he isn't ready by the beginning of the season, it's really no rush. Like you're not gonna have to rush back Alexander to get in the secondary because you're gonna need it. No, you have guys already, excluding Alexander. Again, you went and got Awuzie, so you have 5 DBs that have experience that can play. Alexander just adds to this, and he now becomes possibly maybe even the best corner on this team. And again, it's going to be scary. You have so much you have to think about. Like just in a nickel package, you can go 1 safety back, and then you could even bring Starks and Alexander down and go 1 high coverage. I could be a nerd and talk about football all day, but there are just so many issues and problems that this addition is going to cause for every single offense that the Baltimore Ravens play this year. Eric DeCosta played his cards perfectly. I saw it coming a little bit, but to see it actually come to a fruition, especially with the amount of money that Alexander could have got paid in Carolina, especially with him going home, somehow, some way, Eric DeCosta was able to lure him back in, lure him to Baltimore. And, I think with Lamar, being his college teammate, with them having a good relationship, but also with Lamar being public and posting that he wanted Alexander in Baltimore the past couple of days, telling Eric DeCosta to go and get him. When your franchise quarterback says go get a guy that I believe can put them over the hump to win a Super Bowl, you listen, and not only did EDC just listen, he went and got that guy. And so it's going to be scary, scary, scary for the multiple ways that this Baltimore defense is going to be able to attack these teams in the running game, but also in the passing game. And again, this is a team who can play very well in the run game, and a team that only got better in the run game to stop the run on defense this past offseason. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen. With this addition, I truly believe that Baltimore now has all the answers. They should be able to win the big one now. They're the only team stopping Baltimore now from not from Aces and O's, but from a Jimmy's and Joe's. we line up who has the better guys top to bottom. The only team stopping Baltimore now is Baltimore. Now it's truly Super Bowl or bust. It's not let's get to the Lombardi. It's not let's get over the Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. It's not just get over the Josh Allens and the Buffalo Bills. You have to go win a Lombardi trophy right here, right now, especially with the one-year deal, especially with the video I made 2 videos ago where you have a plethora of guys who are franchise pieces that need to get paid after this offseason. Again, you signed Jaire to a 1-year deal. This is a prove it deal. This is a we're going after a deal. This is a Rams from 2019, 2020 saying that we're going after it right here, right now, and it's going to happen for us, and we're going to make it happen. So I am so excited to see what this team is going to like on grass. I'm going to be at training camp to get an early look at this. I hope if anybody's in the Baltimore area that you get a chance to go to training camp to see what this is going to look like, because it's going to be fireworks, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be electric, I tell you. So what do you guys think? Do you think that this is that deal that's going to get Baltimore Ravens not just to the Super Bowl, but put them over the hump? Do you think this was a good signing? Did they give him too much money? Did they not give him enough money? Do you think that the injury problems are going to seep in? Do you think that Alexander starts over Wiggins or possibly Humphrey? And also, now, a little fun one. What do you think the Ravens' projected record is going to be now that Alexander has truly become a Raven, and now you can add him as a piece that can be moved around in this multiple defense that Zach.Our now has, at his disposal? So let us know what you think in the comments. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. Again, subscribe. Again, you never know when you'll be the first 100 subscribers to your favorite team's channel. Anything you want us to cover, we got it right here. Let us know what you need in the comments. Thank you again for coming. And as always, go Flock.